This one I better do with the jabata. Me, I no get time, I did that.
It is 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Well, it is 12:02, and it's new moon. I always hold down the 12 o'clock call. If you get here at 12 o'clock, who do you say? Me. So understand that I appreciate any and everybody. Whenever you get on this call, you could be doing something completely different, right? Completely different, whether you're at work, whether you're at home. It's the lunch hour. People like to eat their snacks. People like to have their lunch break, and they like to do it in peace and quiet. But instead of doing that, you decided to plug in, get some value for yourself, right? Learn something new. Obviously, somebody invited you to this, and you figure, why not just check it out, see what it has, what type of value is there for you, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. But before we get started, get back in touch with the person that got you on this call. They thought of you highly enough to introduce you to what you're about to listen to. So at least you can do, reach out to them, let them know I made it to the call, I'm here, I'm locked in, and I'm ready to go, all right? The other thing that I want you to do is make sure you have pen and paper, because you're here to learn, you're here to understand what we have to offer you, you're here to learn something that's going to change your life if you take that information seriously. So make sure you're taking good notes, because the note takers of the world are what? The money makers of the world. That's right. And if you plan to make money, you got to be able to be that person that's willing to take good notes. A little bit about myself. It's Neil Moon. I'm here in the DC market, the DMV market, and I've been here for about 3-4 years right now. Prior to that, I lived in the Florida market. I like to jump around when it comes to living somewhere and trying something different, right? But in that, I managed to hold down one same thing constantly. I'm an accountant. I've been in the industry for well over 15 years, did what I was supposed to do, right? Go to school, graduate, get a good job. I went through the whole corporate structure, the whole corporate life, and in doing the whole corporate life, eventually working for CPA firms, doing my due diligence, and I branched out and started my own company, right? Did my own company because I understand the power of chasing my own dreams. Going after what values, what is valued more to me, right? It wasn't about I couldn't stand working for those companies. No, because they taught me a whole lot of value, but I understood my value. I want to go after my dreams. I don't want to be suffocated by somebody else's. And in doing that, one of the biggest things that I learned, one of the biggest things I walked away with was understanding how money moves. I worked with high net worth individuals, high net worth corporations. If you didn't have a certain amount of money to your name, you didn't come through my portfolio, all right? And in coming through my portfolio, I realized that the way the rich and the wealthy makes money is completely different from the regular, everyday, average person. I understood one key thing. It's not about the type of job I work. It's not the type of industry that I position myself with. All of us are about making more money because we're all chasing that end goal of being able to retire or being able to just have more money to enjoy a good life. So it's not about duplicating my effort. It's not about chasing another degree. It's all about trying to find ways to make money multiply. And the conversation that we're going to have today is to learn the new rules of money. New rules of money is the way that banks are already moving. You're going to learn today how to make money grow, and the money that you got sitting in the bank account, how to put that money to work for you, all right? So as we go forward in this conversation, I want you to understand one thing about me. Since I come from the world of accounting, one of the biggest positions that I was partnered with, this was right before the economy crashed back in 2008. In 2008, I worked for a FOREX trading company, a Forex brokerage company, I should say. And in working for that company, I didn't know what foreign exchange was, nor did I care. Most of us, when we land jobs, what do we want? We just want to make sure that paycheck shows up when it's supposed to show up, right? But while I'm there, I saw how money was moving in the rich and wealthy's account. They invested a certain amount of money on the platform and investing that money on the platform every single month. Every single month. They were bringing in gains anywhere between 15 to 25% every single month, right? And banks weren't offering that at all. Not then, they're definitely not doing it now. You could have 10,000 sitting in your savings account, 20,000, 50,000, however much you got sitting in your savings account. I'm pretty sure you're not making that much money on it, right? So if they're making that type of money, I had to ask myself, what is it that they're in What is it that I'm sitting on that I don't even understand the power of it? No one was talking about foreign exchange right before that economy crashed back in 2008. Nobody was really talking about it. And today you get to learn why you didn't hear about it then and why you're learning about it now. As we get started, I want you guys to realize that we're going to have a conversation about money. In having our conversation about money, you have to understand that there's 4 different ways that money flows, come in. There's 4 different ways, and Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he wrote that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great guy, great book. You've never read it, you need to pick that up. So write that down. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, let me read that book. He followed up with this book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And in the Cash Flow Quadrant, that's how he broke down how money is made in the world. Now, this is what he realized. 95% of the world only makes 5% of the wealth, right? And if 95% of the world is only making 5% of the wealth, if you pay attention to that, we are the majority. We are the majority, but we're only capitalizing on 5% of the wealth. Why? It's because of what we're taught. And what we're taught is we are supposed to go to school, get good grades, graduate, get that good job, the same thing that I did. And I did what my parents told me to do, and they did what their parents told to do. When you follow that entire system, this is how you line up on this cash flow quadrant. Oftentimes, 60% of them works for someone else. That's that big category, that big green chunk right there. 60% of people work for someone else because it's what we're taught to do. That's how we're taught to go make money. That's how we're taught to make a living. That's how we're taught to maintain our house, our cars, our groceries, our children's, whatever school they're in, right? So if you fall in that category, understand that there's nothing wrong with being in that category. But if that's the only way that you make money, it's going to be dangerous for you in 2020 and beyond because you don't control your income. Your income is controlled by whoever decides to employ you, however long they want to employ you, okay? With everything that's going on around the world, so many people are already being laid off during a pandemic where you're going to need your money, but your value is no longer needed by that company. Do you see that? All right. If that's your only source of income, understand that 68% of Americans right now that are living in that category where they work for someone else, 68% of them don't even have $1,000 to their bank account. Majority of them are living paycheck to paycheck. They're one paycheck away from being broke. If you're listening to this and you're like, you know what, that does make sense. People don't even teach you that you're supposed to have about 6 months worth of savings set aside just in case some type of emergency happened and your income is now restricted, right? Most people don't have that 6 months set aside. And if you're willing to work 40 hours a week, 40 years of your life in hopes of retiring on 40% of that income, you should be working with a purpose, working with a goal, not just trying to barely make it month to month to month, all right? And it's not about the amount of money you make. You have to understand, you have to find ways and vehicles to make that money multiply. Now, most people that fall in this category, in order to do another step up, what do you get taught? You get taught if you ain't trying to work for somebody else, it's time for you to start working for yourself. So you transition to that 35% that says, I want to be an entrepreneur. People who fall in this category as being an entrepreneur, they are still working and exchanging their time for money, just like the 60%. If they don't exchange their time for money, their services for money, they don't get paid. If that client no longer needs them, they don't get paid. People who fall in this category are lawyers, yes, and right now with the court system being the way it is, lawyers' incomes are limited. Lawyers, doctors, dentists, accountants, yeah, even people like me fall in this category. People who went to school for several years for these degrees that parents teach you, go and get, right? You still fall on the 95% that only makes 5% of the wealth. Are you paying attention? All right? So the people who fall in that category, they're thinking that they now own the business, but in actuality, guys, we only own the job. We are 100% of everything. If we don't market, if we don't advertise, if we don't go get new clients, if clients don't need you anymore, your money still gets limited. Just like the person that works in the 60%. The name of this game now is not to discredit what you're doing, how you're doing it, but let's try to figure out what the rich and the wealthy are doing to make sure and ensure that their money still flows. Name of the game is how do we get from the 95% to the 5%, the right side of money? Right side of money says 5% of the world is making 95% of the wealth. Are you hearing that? 5% of the world is making 95% of the wealth. All right. These 5%ers are business owners and investors. Now, how does a business owner differ from someone that's self-employed? Business owners, they create systems. They start the company from the ground up, but they understand that it's not about their effort only. If it's all about their effort, they understand that they can get sick. They understand that just them is going to become exhausting. So they implement systems, they implement organizations, they implement teams. They let people in on their dreams and their goals. And by letting somebody in on their dreams and their goals and having them believe that you can have something more too, these business owners, now it's not according just to their effort as to whether or not money still comes in. Have you ever shown up at Starbucks, Chipotle, right? Chick-fil-A, you name it, whatever company, Walmart, all these organizations are still running. But have you ever seen the CEO there asking you, how can I help you? May I take your order? No, absolutely not. But money is still being made. If you can grasp this concept of how to become a business owner, listen, later on, we get to show you an opportunity as well as to how you can participate in that 4%. But right now, the conversation that I want to have with everybody on this call is that 1%. We're all here to learn how to become an investor, right? There's many different ways we can invest, many different tools that we can invest in. But the one thing I love about investors is investors don't chase the bag, they have the bag chase them. They've found ways to put the money to work. It's not that you can't work for yourself and be an investor. Work for someone else and be an investor. You can do that. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. But you don't want to just put your egg in one basket where you're only participating in a 60%. You're only participating in the 35%, and you're limiting yourself to the 95% that's still scrambling for only 5% of the wealth. Get you some on the right side. And the way you get you some on the right side, when you find a way and a vehicle that makes absolute sense, you get going and you get started. So the vehicle for choice that I want to talk to you guys about is the foreign exchange market. With the foreign exchange market, I told you I was exposed to it well before the last economy crash, right? This market is simply exchanging currency all around the world. What that means is US dollar, Canadian dollars, Japanese yen, euros, Great Britain pound, you name it. Every country, as long as we got countries, we got economies, we got currency. And that exchange process is where people make money. If you've ever left the United States, gone to another country, had to exchange your dollars for theirs or theirs for ours, you've been a market participant. It's just that you made money for someone else. You didn't make money for you. This market is over $6.8 trillion a day market. All right, $6.8 trillion a day. This is not the stock markets, ladies and gentlemen. Stock markets, right before this pandemic and COVID epidemic, the stock market was trading $22 billion a day. Now that's a lot of money in the stock market, right? But this is doing far greater than the stock market, far greater. All right, the stock market, another thing I want you to understand with the stock market, there's one way we make money in the stock market. You buy low and you sell high. And if the market is not going up, you don't make money. But over here in the foreign exchange market, these traders, once you learn the skill, you do not make money only when the market goes up. Everybody's asking, so how as a Forex trader, how are you doing in the market? Oh, we're great. Everything is great because we make money when the market is up. We make money when the market is down. All right. While you're going through this, understand that this market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every day the banks are open, this market is open. The key market participants in this industry are the major banks around the world. So this is what I consider the bank's playground. All the banks around the world, they come here to this playground, exchange, do whatever they need to do, make their money, and they go back home. All right. If you're saying, how come this is my first time hearing about it? I've heard about it well over 15 years ago. It's a wealthy person's market. It's a secret society that you weren't allowed to participate in. Here's why. If you didn't have $3 million net worth or $100,000 to put on a platform, you couldn't even have this conversation we're having right now, right? But thanks to retail brokers, you can have as little as $10 and get a brokerage account started. So if you got $10 to your name, you're in the right place, guys. You're in the right place. And I want you to thank that person, like say, who, thank you. Thank you, because if I had to need $100,000 to get on this platform, I'm gonna have to choke you. But guys, if you're here right now, the other thing that I want you guys to write down is my savings account is the bank's investment account. Most of us, we probably heard it, but you don't understand the capacity of what I'm saying. My savings account, my checking account, whatever it is the bank's investment account. Here's how it works. Every night you go to sleep, your money goes to work. Every night you go to sleep, your money goes to work. It's just that it's going to work for the banks and not for you. They make billions, trillions on your money, right? And at the end of the month, they toss you pennies and call that interest. You've seen the interest rates. Banks are offering 0.25% APY, right? Banks are offering barely 1% APY. And I'm telling you that the investments that I did right before the economy crashed, people who are investing in this market was bringing back 15 to 20% gains every single month. Some months, even 50%. All right. So here I am. I saw the value in that information. Then I saw this program. And when I saw this program, that's why I'm so passionate about it, because here's a set of people that's willing to teach anyone who is willing to learn a skill to do the same exact thing for themselves. Not only are we going to teach you about the foreign exchange market, but we teach you about the digital currency market. That's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. If you have no idea what that is, understand that by positioning yourself with this company, you get to learn the new way. I don't call it the new wave because it's not going to go up and come down. It's the way the world is transitioning right now. And this market is scheduled to be over $1 trillion industry. Okay. Over $1 trillion industry. People have already made money on Bitcoin. If you missed that, don't miss it this time around. Some people have been saying Bitcoin, oh, it's going to fade out. Oh, it went down. It went down and it went right back up. Whether or not you participate in it, Bitcoin just grew from $7,000 to well over $10,000 like a week ago. Did you make any money on it? And if you didn't, here's how you can position yourself to understand how you can trade this market. I'm simply partnered with an educational platform, guys. We're called I Am Mastery Academy, where we make learning simplified, okay? Our goal is to equip, educate, and empower 1 million people in 2020. 1 million people who are looking to bridge the gap from what you were taught in school to what we have to offer you right now. Who over here has ever heard anything during your entire academic education process? Did anybody teach you about money? Did anybody teach you about that at all? I know I didn't get that in school. It's a big complaint in the education system, but you want to know what? It's limited in the education system because the 5%ers still need the 95% to do the work. The 5%ers still need the 95%ers to do the work. And that's simply what Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, writes about. All right. He writes about that they don't want that in the education system. If they put that in the education system, who's going to be the workers for the 5%? All right. We get taught to be good employees. We get taught to go to school and get in debt and then land a job that we're forever paying back that debt. Here's how we bridge the gap with this educational platform so you can participate and make money just like the rich and wealthy. We put together the Foreign Exchange Academy, guys. Foreign Exchange Academy, we also have the Digital Currency Mastery Academy. Take you from knowing absolutely nothing to now knowing how to talk like a trader, think like a trader, put up your charts like a trader and make money like a trader. We take you from the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, teach you what's margin, leverage, pips, supports, resistance, pulling out your Fibonacci's, okay? It sounds cool and it feels good to know that, listen, I understand how this thing works now. I understand how to make money when the news is bad news. I understand how to make money when the news is good news. Money is being made every single day in this market and you're missing out. And you're only missing out because you don't have the mindset yet to start positioning yourself for wealth. Guys, when you get in the academy, we also have our Go Live session. In our Go Live session, over 100 full-time educators. These are the gold mines. The gold mines, I call them that because they're going live 24 hours. throughout the academy. 5 days, sometimes 6 days, maybe 7 days a week, right? These are 6, 7, 8-figure traders in the market. They've already got the success. They already make money. And they are willing to come to this platform and teach you exactly how they got it. When they mark up their charts, you mark up your charts. When they say, get in this trade, you get in that trade. And guys, when they profit, so do you. It's not simple. It's not simple. You literally get your hand held throughout this entire process and learn with top traders. We also provide live mentorship. You get your questions answered in real time while you're in their chat rooms. You have a chat box, ask them questions. Anything you want to know, you want them to reverse, go back, explain it again, they're there for you. But understand that while you're in here, the same information I went through is the same information you'll go through. You don't need me to have the success, right? You don't need anybody to have the success. You just need to have the will and the desire to go for it for yourself. But it does feel good to know that you've got somebody to reach out to. You have me. You have Kevin Howell. You have the person that brought you on this call. It does feel good to know that you can tap on somebody's shoulder and say, hey, help me understand this, right? In the academy, we also have our Hello Center. Because while you're plugging in, while you're learning how to become your own signal, we understand that you got to make money along the way. So if you want to make money along the way, these are our weapons. These are our tools. These are our robotic artificial intelligence that literally saves you time and energy in the market. What you're looking at is the harmonic scanner. It scans the market, goes over the past trades and predict future trends. In telling you future trends, it says, listen, Tennille, I just scanned the market for you. Here you go. We have our entry point. Here's your take profit zones, and here's your stop loss, right? It literally calls out signals for you that you can put in your trading app and make money right now. I'm making money on the harmonic scanner as we speak, okay? I didn't have lots of time to get in the market this morning, but I said, if I don't have time, it doesn't mean I won't have time to make money, all right? The other stuff that we have is the Learn and Earn on the Go products. These are apps downloaded to your phone, Swipe Trade, Swipe Coin, Gold Cup. Those same traders send signals to it all day long. If you can copy and paste, you can make profit. Copy, paste, make profit, okay? When the signals come in, you literally are taking it from the signals, putting it in an app, make money. It eliminates people from all their excuses of, I don't have time. I knew you were thinking about it. I knew you were thinking about it because we're so used to coming up with excuses rather than finding a way. We found the way for you. Are you willing to plug in and put it to use? Okay, guys, everybody that decided to get started with the academy, you know, we're all going to have our own success stories. We're always going to have our own beliefs as to what is possible. But this industry works. It's not if it works. It does work. It does work if you apply what's in the academy, understand how to mark up your charts, take signals from these top traders. It works. Okay. A very well-known doctor in the academy decided to get started. And when he got started, didn't really have a lot of time. Surgeon. Didn't have a lot of time, but he understood that he was working on that 35% of the chart. He still had to exchange his time. If he didn't see a patient, he didn't get paid. So he took a signal from the swipe trades, copied it, pasted it, went into surgery. Several hours later came out $1,300 in profit. Now that $1,300 in profit didn't wow him. What wowed him was the fact that he didn't have to exchange his time. When he saw the value in that, ladies and gentlemen, he plugged in 18 months later, did every single thing in the academy, did 18 months of it. 18 months later, withdrew from his platform over $5 million. Over $5 million. And when I saw that, I said, listen, if he can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Because understand that on whose job, doing what, for how long will you ever be able to walk away with $5 million in 18 months? Listen, everybody and anybody that gets into this program and fall in love with it and become obsessive about it, they understand the power of what we are doing, all right? They understand the power of what we're doing. I'm going to welcome a few people on here. Share with me your success stories. Let the newcomers understand the power in what we are doing, all right? Let's see who we have on here. I'm going to pull out Mr. Enrique. Mr. Enrique, are you there?
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for getting on the call. I appreciate you getting on the call. While you're here, let us know real quick how long you've been in the academy, one. your highest day trading, and what products do you use?
Okay, I've been here since September. Yeah, I think it's September. Yeah, I've been here since September. I actually have like a $250 average every day that I do decide to trade. I don't do it every day, but the days that I do, I've learned the system to get like $250 a day. Thursday before last, I actually made $1,200 before breakfast time. I set my trades that night using the levels. Basically, the levels is something that shows you where your take profit is, your stop loss, and also your entry point. It basically does it for you. Now you can go and check other places to make sure that that's kind of accurate and that set your trade. And more than not, you will win. I promise you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Let's see if we got another one here. Let's see. Tay, are you there? Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Can't see you yet. Cut that camera on for me.
Well, it said the host disabled the camera.
All right. Well, if
I'm
you're
still.
not able to disable the camera, it is absolutely okay. Go ahead and let me know what has it been like for you. I want to know how long you've been in the academy. Not only how long you've been in the academy, what's your highest day trading and your favorite product so far?
All right. So first off, I want to thank you for allowing me to be on here. And I started about a month and a half ago, and my favorite product is definitely to go live where I can learn from my favorite educator of my choice. And I profited yesterday about $115. It was like 45 minutes, but I still count as a day. So that's my biggest day trading.
Biggest day trading. Awesome, awesome. And you said favorite product is Go Live. You only been in for a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. So listen, with that already happening and you've only been in the company for a month, I'm excited to see where this is going to go for you. Thank you for getting on this.
Thank you.
Lastly, I have Mr. Howell. Kev, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear and see me?
Now I can see you. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely incredible. Thank you for having me on the call just to kind of share my testimonial. First, I want to give it back to you for just doing everything that you're doing from a leadership standpoint, the incredible information that you're sharing with everybody today. And I've actually been with the platform for about 2.5 years now. My favorite products is the Go Live TV sessions because they teach you how to trade, right? I mean, when you have an opportunity to learn from people who know more than you and have the results that you're looking to get, it just makes sense to be a good copycat, right? Also, Levels is a scanner that I love to use. Very successful with it. My biggest day trading has been $1,300, but it really hasn't been, the days that I've had that got me excited. It's the days that people in my organization that have, and, a gentleman named Travis Musco, he has, $4,200 days, his biggest day, and he averages about $500 to $1,500 on a daily basis. Andrea Douglas out in Virginia, she's a nurse who's on furlough. Her biggest day trading was $2,400. So I guess the reason why I get so excited about other people's story is that the average person like you and I gets the opportunity to learn a skill that will actually be able to pay us for the rest of our lives. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mr. Neil Moon. Thank you once again for allowing me to be able to share my testimony.
Thank you so much for even getting on here. I appreciate that a whole lot. Listen, it's about the people's lives that you do change as well. Some of us, when we get started and we see opportunities, or before you even decide to get started, a lot of people want to say, I want to see so-and-so win first. I want to see so-and-so win first before I even make a decision for myself. Now that's, I'm sorry, I'm going to be very direct. That's a very broke way of looking at your future. Your future is now predicated on whether or not somebody else wins. Who are they compared to who are you, right? Don't get stuck being that type of person to say, I want to see how it works for you first. I did that with Bitcoin. I did that with Bitcoin and I regret it. Bitcoin was presented to me when Bitcoin was $458 a coin. $458 a coin. A friend called me and I said, I think you need to get on this. It's this coin thing going on and you need to get in. You know what I said? I heard about it, but you do it first. And then I'll let you know if I'm gonna get in. That day was the last day I ever made that, ever will say something like that out of my mouth. Because no one else's success or no one else's loss, failure, will ever predict where I go in my future, okay? Would you believe that my friend who decided to get in bought 10 coins, buying 10 coins, Bitcoin went way over $20-something thousand. Their success took off and I missed it. Now I wanna say, let me get in. Let me get in. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin hovers right now anywhere between $7,000 to $8,000. Tanil, you missed the boat. You missed that boat. Guys, if you're on this call, don't miss this one, okay? Because no one else's success should predict whether or not you are going to have your own. The market works. Rich and the wealthy already participating. They've kept it a secret for years from you. All we're doing is simply letting the cat out the bag. All we're doing is simply letting the cat out the bag. You have to decide whether this is going to be for you. Are you going to jump all the way in? Or are you going to halfway put your foot in and say, let me just see? No, don't let me just see. Get in all the way. It works. You got to make it work for you. Because when I started looking for the education and trying to figure out how can I get started? How can I learn? I was the accountant for a FOREX company. I want the skill. I want the skill, and companies were charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 to learn the skill. The price is on it because it's worth it. That type of price is on it because it's worth it. Are you listening? And if you're not willing to pay $25,000 to learn the skill, are you willing to pay and invest $235? $235 gets you started in the FOREX Academy. $175 monthly. Yes, there's a monthly fee to it. You subscribe to Netflix and you pay it every single month, don't you? Does Netflix do anything for you other than make you feel good from time to time? With this, when you invest in this, you get the FOREX Mastery Academy. You get to go live sessions with the top traders who already have the success, and they're teaching you exactly what they did to get that success. All right. You also get your personal assistant, the harmonic scanner, that's going to call trades for you. All right. These are tools that once you put that 235 in, these are tools that will pay you within your first 30 days. They will pay you within your first 30 days. You plug in, you put it to use. I know people that has gotten in and within their first 30 days made over $2,000 because they used it. They were sold out for it. They jumped all the way in. They weren't skeptical and they didn't want to wait to see how it works for somebody else. In addition to that, we have our 3-in-1 Academy, the Elite Package. The Elite Package, you get the same FOREX. Now you get high frequency and you get the digital currency academies. You unleash everything in the academy. That's for $325 to get started, $275 a month. Listen, when you get started, I'm telling you right now, don't rush the process. You're going to make money along the way. Don't rush the process. So be willing to commit however long you need to commit to get the skill, because it beats working till you are 67, 70 years old. Who wants to set themselves up for retirement at 70? Your bones are weak, right? You ain't got the energy. You should be living your best life right now, not at 70 years old. So if this takes you 1 year to get the skill down, if it takes you 2 years, I'm gonna hop out there and say, if it takes you 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to know 5 years from now you can retire because now you have a skill that pays you every single day? There's no limit on this market. $6.8 trillion a day market. Would it be worth it? And lastly, are you worth it? Are you willing to invest in yourself? We pay for so much things every day, day in and day out. We spend that. That money ends for you and begins for somebody else. Are you worth the investment in learning a skill that I don't own, the company don't own? But if you want that skill, you can have it for yourself, okay? If you're listening to this and you're saying, listen, I'm all in, I'm willing to go all in. Listen, Academy even thought about making everything even more feasible, because What I love about this company is CEO Christopher Terry, when he decided to start this company, he understood. He is well educated when it comes to this field, 26 years of being in it and having to travel the world, travel the country, I should say, doing the academy, 2-day sessions, charging people $10,000 just to learn the skill. $10,000, and he understood that it's the rich and the wealthy that was always showing up, right? And if he can put something together to let the everyday average person partake in something like this and now create wealth for themselves, that's where he found value. Made it super affordable, but in addition to making it super affordable, listen, our goal is to educate and empower as many that wants it. So if you know people that are just like you can get your education for free. How you get that for free? You tell 2 people, want to learn the same skill, want to make some money in this market, want to get on the right side of wealth. When you set them free, we let you go free. And you set them free by simply turning them on to something that's going to take them in a completely different and much better direction for their future. All right. So if you're on this call and you're saying, listen, I'm excited about it, Tennille. I may have some questions here and there, but I see the vision. I see it and I want to partake in it. I want you to get back in touch with the person that got you to this call. Tell them you're either type 1 or type 2. Make it simple. You should know where you're at in your life. You should know what you want in your life. No hesitating, right? If you want in and you want to start learning a skill, let them know you're type 1. Type 1 simply says, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do whatever you want me to do. Plug me in the system. Let's start making this money, okay? Type 2 says, I got a few questions, but I see the plan. I see the vision. I see how I can really, really use this skill and forever pay me, but also my generations to come. I can teach this to my kids. My kids can teach it to their kids. We can now break that cycle of constantly staying on the 95% of wealth and now getting what the 5%ers are doing. Type 1 or type 2, choose, okay? I want to thank y'all for even getting on that call, because that is the portion regarding being a trader. Because right now, other than just the 1%, the investors, I want to talk to the people that want to partake in the 4%, business owners. Business owners, are you out there? All right. If you like to make money on all sides of the table, this is for you. Guys, when you get started in the academy, I'm going to let it be known right now that all you can do is be a trader. We all start there. All you can do is be a trader. Simply put, all right? You go get your 2 and free. And if you're saying, Tennille, I got my 2 and free already, but I got more friends that say I'm interested. What do I do with them? What do I do with them? All right. When you tell more than 2 people, this is when you can activate the business side. It's completely and 100% optional. It's not something you have to do. But if you decide to say, I have more friends, listen, I'm trying to set as many families free. I'm trying to make sure this community gets impacted, where we now start learning about money. I'm going to tell as much people. When you tell that third person, the company compensates you $150 every single month residually. $150 residually, okay? Just for telling 3 people, being a mouthpiece. Nobody told you need to teach them anything, because we do it for them, right? You just simply introduce them to the academy, get them plugged in. When those 3 get started, those 3 are going to want to do the same exact thing you did. They want their education for free. Maybe they know more people and they want to tell them as well. Those 3, that's all you told. Those 3 go and tell more people. Eventually, your organization grows to 12 people. Those 12 people now kicks you in the status of Platinum 600. Platinum 600 gives you $600 every single month residually. When those 12 do the same thing, listen, we're all about paying it forward. What are we trying to do? Empower, educate, and equip people to financial freedom. Those 12 grow to 30. You're now kicked into Platinum 1,000, $1,000 a month. Do not discredit this. It's going to happen. If you don't tell them, someone else will. All right? It's that simple. I've seen it happen. I try to keep it a secret to myself. I try to wait until I got my success. And when it was time for me to share it with my friends, some of them said, I already heard about it from somebody else. I'm already in. So if you don't tell them, listen, somebody else will. All right. We're already naturally referring every single day. You don't believe me? You ever got a nice haircut? Told your friends about the barber? Everybody want to lay, man, that's a nice cut. Referring a barber. You refer your nail tech. You refer a salon lady. You know, we're all referring. You watch Netflix, you refer. You eat at a good restaurant, watch a good movie, go to the movie theaters. We're constantly referring, but the question is, did they pay you? Are you getting a piece of their advertising budget, or are you just doing this for free? So if you're already comfy with doing it for free, why wouldn't you do it knowing that somebody's going to compensate you? All right. Our compensation plan goes to platinum 2,000 a month, platinum 5,000, 5,000 a month. You're getting $1,250 at that level every single week, every Friday. That's our payday. All right. And the biggest thing that I like to pay attention when it comes to this is the amount of people that's getting impacted. Chairman 10 is $10,000 a month. How many situations can this change? Imagine doing that just because you told 3 people, and 3 people told more and more and more and more. Okay. And now you're overriding $10,000 every single month. Changes a few things, right? Maybe your zip code. Changes maybe your attitude, how you show up at that job, right? Changes how you eat, how you walk. It changes things. Yes. Yes. But then it goes on. Chairman 25, Chairman 50, my personal mentor that got me in this company, and Chairman 100, right? Chairman 100 went from making 6 figures a year to now 6 figures a month. This compensation goes all the way to Chairman 500. That's $500,000 a month. It's not unlikely. It's very possible. We have several Chairman 500s in the company. Several chairmans, period. Ranging from 19 years old all the way up. There's no limit. It's where do you see yourself in this? You know, where do you see yourself? Me, when I look at this, Chairman 500, yes, $500,000 a month does sound good, but I'm impressed with the 30,000 people's lives that got changed. The impact that's happening in our world, impact of the community, impact of the 95%. Okay? Pay attention to what's happening all around us, guys. This is a financial market you don't want to miss out on. Absolutely a financial market you don't want to miss out on. So many people get started in this company. They didn't expect the success that they've gotten as quick as they've gotten it. But if you're open and if you're willing and you want to learn and you want to change, it can happen for you too. I'm simply saying thank y'all so much for getting on this call. All right. Definitely get back in touch with the person that got you on it. I'm pumped for my Tuesday, 12 o'clock. Hey, Tuesday, 12 o'clock. And listen, we've got Mr. Kevin Howell that's going to be doing the same presentation, guys, introducing you all. You know people that can benefit from him. Put them on the 4 o'clock call. Put them on the 8 o'clock call. We're here for you all day long. Goal is to set people free. Today, you get to answer a question that you've been asking yourself. Am I worth it? Am I worth it? Am I ready to change? Right? Conversation is, you've got to make that decision for yourself. But when you make that decision, you go all the way for it. Thank y'all so much for getting on my call. This is Tennille Moon. Every single day, like I told y'all, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. And I thank y'all again. Have a very good rest of the day.